Again, welcome, my brothers. Peace. Let me start by starting with our salutation. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I bear witness there is no God but Allah. Bear witness that He made His divine intervention in our affairs in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, to whom praise I forever do. And I bear witness that the most honorable Elijah Muhammad is His messenger Messiah. And I further bear witness that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is His servant and divine reminder, present day warner, truth bearer, deliverer amongst us. It is with their names that I greet you, my dear brothers, with the greeting words of peace. We say it in the Arabic language, the language of our forefathers, of Assalamu alaikum. In English, it simply means peace be unto you. We like to welcome you all who are in our listening audience to another session of We Must First Be Brothers. Our title topic today is friendship in all walks of life. So, in this time, we start with these thoughts because we want to lay a foundation. And first, let me say that all those who participate in this call, our agenda here is to build consensus. Although we may, embark upon topics that are somewhat considered controversial in points and times as we build in this discussion, as we build this institute, as my dear brother John so eloquently enhanced us with as we are moving forward in this mission. But as we build, brothers, our agenda here is consensus. There is so much that we disagree on as brothers, just unfortunately, in the socially engineered environment that we live in. So, what we are trying to curate is a space where we can build. We have to start building amongst each other as brothers in how we interface with one another. Our enemies has done a fantastic job of keeping us disunited over any little thing. So if we want to truly be free, liberated, if we want to see our families liberated, our communities decent and safe places to live, all of this starts with brotherhood. If we want to have viable business, all of it starts with brotherhood. And so that's what We Must First Be Brothers is about. It's about following an instruction. And that instruction came to us from the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. These are his words, not my words, but these are his words, and they are divine words, and they are instruction. They're not just words for us to hear and not act upon. This is an assignment. This is a direct order from the God and his exalted Christ that we must first be brothers. So, in a time like this, brothers, where tests and trials and every type of betrayal is taking place, the atmosphere is charged right now for murder, is charged for what I call a modern version of the crucifixion, which is beyond just the key figure of the work of raising consciousness, which I believe that to be none other than the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. However, it also is very inclusive of you and I. It is inclusive of anyone who has any degree of consciousness and awareness who is trying to do something to make a difference, trying to do the work of raising the consciousness of our people, helping to pull us up out of this dead state, this horizontal plane of existence into a vertical and upright nature, which is our true nature. So in this season, we are in most need of friendship, not surface level associations, not convenience, but real brotherhood. There's a scripture in the Bible, in the book of Abraham, we learn in the Bible, the second chapter, the 23rd verse, it says that Abraham was called the friend of God. In the Arabic language, we learn of the great one who came, Master W. Fuad Muhammad. It is intimated that that W represents Wali or Wali Farad, which means a protecting friend, a guardian, one who stands with you, covers you, and does not abandon you. That's a powerful, powerful name. Understanding this clearly, brothers, friendship is not casual, it is voluntary, personal relationships built on mature, mutual affection, trust, and intimacy. That's right, not the funny intimacy, but intimacy of purpose. When you have a true friend, you have a trusted companion who will cover you, not expose you in a reckless way to bring harm and shame to you. This is why we must first be brothers is more than a slogan. It is a movement to raise the level of consciousness amongst us. So it's so important, brothers. And let me make sure that we are on the right path here. Somebody is definitely expressing themselves in their breathing. But anyway, to raise the level of consciousness, it's a movement. It's our responsibility to be brothers to one another as Black men. This subject today was inspired from our beloved brother, Minister Akbar's Janaza service. It really was powerful to hear the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan reflect on the friendship when he took over mosque in New York. Found it to be very, very significant because most of us would not have known how intimate and how deep that relationship was and how significant and how important that was to help the minister to gain his footing, to help the minister to become the man that he has become. He had a brother, and not just a brother, but he had a true friend in Minister Akbar. I think that's something that we can't just look over. None of these things that are happening in a vacuum or something that we should just look upon as happenstance. Everything has a very powerful significance, especially when the great leaders amongst us, those great helpers amongst us, are starting to transition in a time like this. There's two things happening. One, God is releasing that phase of work, in my view, that phase of intensity and that type of work is being released, but there's also a new growth coming and a new responsibility. And as a part of that, we have to learn those lessons and study what has happened in the past so that we can act in the most appropriate and most excellent way that we may execute by the grace of God in a way that is pleasing and that shows that we are grateful for their service, but also that we can become what they were great examples of. And friendship is one of them. When I heard the minister speak on that, I was extremely touched because you understand it as a young man taking on an assignment like that you need someone who is not going to judge and condemn you, someone who is going to have your back. There's always a snake somewhere in the midst when you're trying to build and grow as a human being. So that example is very pregnant with a lot of wisdom in it for us to understand, because whenever you're trying to do something in life, there's no way that we're going to be successful without a friend, without a brotherhood. In fact, we can't even do business successfully as individuals. And I know some think that we can, but the problem with Black men, particularly, is that we've been so marginalized, so isolated, and we suffer from so much depression. We find ourselves in the space where we are alone and untrusting because we've been made not to trust one another. Again, why it is important that we must first be brothers, because we can't kingdom build without that. So it's more than just proximity, what we're talking about. It's principled connections. This is what we have to establish. We have to establish intimacy. And intimacy, what we're saying is trust. I'm safe. I'm safe with my brother. That's what a real friendship is all about. It's not about me getting one up on my brother. It's about me feeling absolutely safe in multiple ways, one of which I can share the most intimate aspects of my life. You want a friend like that and know that you're not going to be judged. share the most intimate and even some of your missteps in life, and know that you can talk to your brother and he will correct and tell you the truth, but he will not condemn you. He will not judge you. He will look upon you with a kind of love and respect, never wavering from that, because that is what a true friend and a true brother is like. I remember one time, brothers, I was blessed to be at dinner with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and I was going through a serious rough patch, in my homeland, my home, and I was doing the work. I was a student in the work, and I was going through a period of serious slander. There was just a lot of stuff going on. You step in poop in your development. You got to take some responsibilities. You're not pointing the finger, especially when you've been in leadership. You learn this, especially under the leadership of the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan. If you listen and pay attention, you learn how to be responsible, even for some things that you are not directly responsible for. But because you're in leadership, you have to take responsibility. But anyway, aside from that, it's another story altogether. A brother was going through, and I remember sitting at the table with the minister, and he started talking. And you're dealing with a divine man. And I have to bear witness from my point of view. And let me say this, my brothers who tap in, who are Christian, we welcome you. My brothers who are Hebrew, Israelite, whatever your background is, please join the discussion. But let's have the mind of consensus and brotherly love and how we can build and support each other. That's very important. My foundation is in the teachings. You might have foundations in other places, and that's absolutely fine. But we want to make sure that our agenda here is for consensus. And as what we're doing grows, we want to make sure that's clear that this is a universal principle. Brotherhood is universal. And so, anyhow, I'm sitting at the table with the minister, and he starts to talk. He starts to talk about the weight of this work that we take upon us, those of us who are serious about seeing our people out of this condition. And he said, everybody needs somebody they can talk to. Now, brothers, I know many of you are well studied on the call. And if you have, like I have, studied many of the statistical and the vital statistics when it comes to Black men, you know that we are dying from all types of degenerative illnesses, heart failure, cancer. We are dropping off the planet. And this is one that most are not as aware of, but you should be made aware of. Suicide. There's high levels of suicide amongst our young Black men, high levels of suicide among Black men in our era, in our age groups, of various reasons. But one thing we can be assured of, that at the root of such an act is the fact that a man does not have a place to lay his head, to talk, to be able to build, and to be able to work through some of the dynamics of life as they come to us. And that's really sincere and vulnerable, but it's something that we have to come to grips with. This world has made us to have to put on a false representation of being overly strong. We have misunderstood what masculinity is, thinking that masculinity means that you have to be hard as a rock and flexed and always tense. And that's not the case. Any man who lives like that is on his way quickly to the grave. This machine, this human body, the spirit of the energy that lives in it called you has to have flexibility, has to be open, has to flow. And that flexibility and flow allows for greater impressions of wisdom and knowledge to come to such a man. But if we're hardened because now we have to protect ourselves, we have to protect our vulnerability because there's no safe place for the Black man, then that hardens us and positions us for poor health, raises our cortisol levels in our body. The food we eat becomes toxic. Everything begins to work against us, brothers, because we are not able to release the major toxin, and that is the one going on in our head and how we think and how we've been made to feel, how we've been made to think about ourselves, how we've been made to interact, and the fact that we hardly have a safe place and a real friend. So these words, friendship in all walks of life, come from the Supreme One, the Supreme Being promised us this friendship in all walks. And what is a walk? Walk is a path, a journey, a place that we might find ourselves in at any point in life, all walks of life. Friendship, someone that you can trust and confide in, someone that you can believe, that will believe in you, someone that will have your back, someone where there's an agreement. And Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us, he said that the basis of love is agreement. And where there is no agreement, brothers, there can be no real love. And where there is no love, there can be no true friendship. So we have to really study our condition today. We have to study why we have failing business ventures sometimes. Some of us are very successful. Praise be to Allah. Continue, and we pray for the continued success of our brothers on every level.
Dad,
But some of us, make sure you turn off your phones, but put them on mute so we don't have to hear the background noise. Thank you. But some of us are really, struggling to establish things in life. And what's the reason for that? Because again, as I said, we don't have trust. We don't have trust. We try to build businesses without brotherhood. And I heard Minister Jabril say something that really resonated with me recently in one of the lectures he was speaking of. He said that we cannot become wealthy unless we do it together. And if that's what we're seeking, we have to have some type of, what the enemy does to make Black people wealthy? He comes in, he sows himself into the process. And this is why we see very wealthy Black people amongst us, but they won't contribute to the community. They won't give back. They won't come and sow and help raise other brothers up out of that place, help free the other slaves, like we were doing when we were coming off the plantation, and Black people who had resources would come back and sometimes buy the freedom of other brothers. Well, we should be of that mind today. The more successful we become, we should be of the mind to go and free our brother, free our sisters, our families from the destitute and the poverty. Help, not just give money. I'm not talking about give money, but give knowledge and give wisdom, give support in that way, which you can help to establish a system of growth and development that is beneficial to your brother. So we have to establish trust. We have to establish trust and friendship. And trustworthiness is, as a base of friendship, allows for there to be successful business when we do business. A true brother, does not want to violate the sacred bond of friendship. So he will not violate the principles of business that will destroy the business and also destroy the friendship. These are areas that we want to kind of go over today, because many of us have gone through where we've been burnt, where we have had some bad experiences, and some of us, even those maybe believers or wherever your walk of life is, and you start to say things like, man, you can't do nothing with no Black folks. You can't, man, this is the rhetoric that we start to talk, how we start to sound. We start to give up, and we give up relatively fast on each other, understandably so. But that can't be the end all be all of how we think. We can't allow that to govern, that toxin to rule our thought process as Black men. We have to defy that, go to war with that darkness, and produce light and produce a strengthened brotherhood and bond that will allow us to build in the way that we need to build, so we can go back to building universes again, you see, in our Father, where we can be a part of that we and that us that is spoken of in the Quran, that where Allah says that, and we created the heavens, and we created man, and we adorn the heaven with stars. And, he allows us to participate in the process, because there is no greater brother, absolutely no greater brother in the universe than Allah. And if a man want to study friendship and what true friendship looks like, study the attributes of God. The more you study the attributes of God, then the more you will understand he's a friend. I quoted one today, Al-Wali, the protecting friend. You see? So we must first be brothers. And a part of that is to change our language. As we get near our conclusion of this opening point, we have to learn to speak a universal language. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us, he said, no people can be successful in teaching a people that cannot speak the people's language. well. Why is that significant? What is he telling us? He's not talking about phonetic phonetics. He's not talking about Spanish and English. He's talking, in my humble view, he's talking much deeper than that. The universal language of our nature and our being. Understanding that and studying that and being able to communicate that universal language of brotherhood and friendship is what helps to produce the atmosphere where we can have friendship in all walks of life. This thing on brotherhood is really, really, really big. It is not something that we should take lightly. This is not a light conversation that we're having. We're not trying to win likes and subscribes. We're trying to build an institution. We're trying to build a system or be connected to the system of God where we can build a real brotherhood. So we have to learn a universal language and participate in a universal language. And that language has to be void of ego. Okay, brother, you're knowledgeable. Okay, brother, you know the sciences of the universe. But what good is that? Is only thing that you do with the sciences and the knowledge that you have is fight your brother. It's much better if we can get into a posture where we can share. And even where we disagree on things, we can talk in an amenable and an intelligent, loving way. That way I can get the benefit of what you're saying without being on the defense, without being at war with you, but being a brother. Let me learn from my brother. Let me grow from my brother. Let me get the benefit of what my brother has to offer. I can't do that if all we can do is fight. So the flyer I put together a flyer that represented various brothers from all around different faiths and walks of life. It's a very powerful flyer. I didn't realize how powerful it was until I started looking at the feedback that we were getting online. Then I looked at it again. I said, oh, this is something that the people want. This is what the people need. They need to see us unified. They need to see us working together. Instead of arguing and having pissing contests, they need to see us being friends. Our children need to see us acting in such a mature, intelligent way, even when we disagree. We have to learn how to better memorialize our leaders. We're the only people that got to go into the rhetoric of tearing down our great leaders. Oh, I didn't agree with his method. Okay, but what good did the brother do? Is there any type of way that you can find a pathway to just talk about the good? That's what we have to learn how to do. That takes maturity. That takes a separation from ego identifications. That takes love to be able to see the good. So we have a lesson that says we did not care about the poor part, that we kept the best part preserved for ourselves. It's in there ever since we made it. We did not care. We made a good and the best part. Caring about what is poor means that you are directing your attention to what is poor. And where your attention goes, your energy goes. Where your attention goes, your wealth and your power goes. Again, our initial point, the machinations of our enemy to keep us focused on what is not good and keep us at odds with each other, fighting and killing one another. And this is non-performative. There's no way that we're going to be successful operating from that basis. We have to operate on the high level and frequency of thought. And that is not focusing on where we have fallen short, because not one is good, as the Bible says. No, not one. All of our righteousness, the scriptures say, is as filthy rags. None are good. No, not one. Our mouths, the Honorable Elijah Mama say, have been bent in a lie. When we understand the real flaw, the wisdom should teach you to first look at yourself. And you really understand the real flaw and the weaknesses and the deficiencies of self. Man, if you sit there and wallow in that forever, brother, then we ain't never getting up. I promise you that. We got to reprogram how we think. We have to develop a better language and to create a culture out of that language that is based on real brotherhood, real friendship, and real wisdom. So, as we close on our point, I raised a question. And the question I raise is, are we capable of being friends? Are you, as a brother, in your own reflection, are you a friend? Are you capable of being a friend? This is what we have to establish. We have to establish it amongst each other as Black men, primarily and first. We have to do it first. You see? So the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, we must first be brothers. He also said that the God comes to set us on top of civilization. If he came to put us on top of civilization, then we can't rule like ninjas. We can't rule with our ego. We have to understand that it takes great wisdom to understand and embrace humanity. It takes great wisdom to appreciate the cultures of others. It takes refinement. It takes high level of intelligence to be able to go into another man's culture and house and not judge him because you don't believe like him. It takes great wisdom to even go and see yourself and the evidence of yourself as the original man in every culture, in every kindred, every native, every tongue. You're there. So when you are wise and understand what the God has come to do for us by being a friend to us, you see, then we should change how we think and not be so critical and so judgmental, especially when it comes to how we view one another. So again, my brothers, I welcome you. We welcome you to We Must First Be Brothers. I want to encourage you to come from behind your names, if you don't mind, if you feel comfortable. We would love to see your faces. And that way, those who are, able to tune in can also see your faces, and we can appreciate you and your beauty and all your splendor as a beautiful, beautiful Black man. The world needs to see beautiful brothers who are intelligent and who are working to establish what is good and what is decent. So I again welcome you all to We Must First Be Brothers. Thanking you for tuning in. We are moving, brothers. We are on the move and we are going to be successful. I totally 100% believe this in my soul, that the God is with us in what we are trying to do, what we are striving to do, and what we are doing and what we will do. This podcast, this conversation that we're having is just a second phase in a process. We have other phases in what, by the grace of Allah, we will engage in. But we are serious. We are holding the line. We're going to do everything in our power to make sure that our word is our bond in pushing this agenda amongst us as brothers. I don't care what your faith and your background may be. You see, if you got intelligence and you are at least trying to work on your mental health and your spiritual health, then this is what we should be focusing on. We already know where we divided at. That's clear. All you have to do is you can go on any search engine, listen to anybody. Somebody got something negative to say. Those people are easy to find. People that are always looking on the dark side of the moon and not looking at the light that's being reflected from the sun. We can find them. They come a dime a dozen. They're everywhere. But the children of light, the children of wisdom, the children of knowledge and understanding, the children who love God with their hearts, with their souls, and their mind, are looking for the good and the best part. I desire, Brother Michael, to be a brother. And I remember the minister saying that that is the best title that we can have. But I heard him say something significant at the janazah of Brother Akbar when he said that the friendship that we have to develop, friendship within the brotherhood. See, so the brotherhood, the principles of brotherhood are the obligatory system that allows for us to operate in a harmonious and balanced way. Friendship is like an elevated state within that. You see, that's an elevated frequency within that. Because when I got a friend, man, like the book say, oh, what a friend. Oh, what a friend I have in Jesus, as they would say in the church, right? You know, oh, what a friend. Why? Why? Because he was such a human being that he would lay his life down for his brother, man. And that's not just in the physical, but laying your life down, meaning serving, committing to service, to help, to grow your brother. We got to beat the system of selfishness. So the mic is open, brothers. This is a discussion, and it is officially open for you to weigh in. Again, I would love to see those of you who are on the call, and I'd love to hear you weigh in. We're gonna start with one of our co-hosts. We got a few of them that are dynamic, and of course we're gonna light it up. But we got Brother John. Where you at, Brother John?
Something came up for a second. Give me a second. That brother.
Okay. Brother Lewis. Brother Lewis. I don't know if Brother Lewis is here. Yes, sir.
So happy to be here among my friends.
Let us see your beautiful face, Brother Lewis. This is Brother Lewis Ali from the South. Let us see your face if you don't mind, Brother Lewis. Come, turn your video on.
My video's on. I can see you. Can you see me?
No, I don't. Maybe it's on my end.
It might be on your end. Brother John, can you see me?
I can see you, Brother Lewis.
I see you, Brother Lewis. We see you.
Oh, y'all see him? Okay, well then it must be on my end then. Oh, it's on my end. I'm sorry. It is on my end. I realize what I did, brothers. Okay, go ahead. Yep.
Well, I'm happy to be here among my brethren and my friends. You wrote this magnificent book, We Must Be Brothers First. And if everyone hadn't gotten a copy, I hope you will get a copy. And I hope that you will all subscribe to the Final Call newspaper also.
Yeah.
This book can help to raise your consciousness and your frequency and vibration, particularly about brotherhood. And I want to read something, point number 74 out of the book. And let's give a little thought to it as we begin this dialogue. Point number 74 is pray for your brother. Prayer or positive thoughts can create a healthy environment within the brotherhood. Thoughts are powerful and can produce living things that affect the atmosphere. The more positive thoughts and prayers that are projected, the more positive energy will flow within the brotherhood, leading to better health and well-being for all. Okay?
Praise be to Allah.
Now, our teacher, Minister Farrakhan, he taught us to pray for one another as brothers. You know, prayer, Dr. Ava Muhammad taught us, is to the spirit and the mind what a bath is to the body. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, he taught his followers to pray a minimum of 5 times a day. The devil, our enemy, always likes to point out our differences and then get us to fight and kill one another's energy, but sometimes physically based on those differences. And there's a lot of ways he does it. He does it with some of us are darker, some of us are lighter. Some of us been blessed to go to college. Some of us are blue collar workers or white collar workers or whatever you want to call it. Some of us grew up in homes with our fathers. Some of us grew up in homes without our fathers. Some of us have gone to prison. Black men come from all walks of life. Black women come from all different walks of life. But we do too little of praying for one another.
That's right.
We pray on one another, P-R-E-Y, but actually seeing a brother and actually saying, oh Allah, I bless this brother. I want him to have luxury, money, good homes, and friendship in all walks of life. I want my brother to have a good character with a good family. I pray that Allah blesses him with a good wife and healthy children. I'm so thankful to God for being able to be in the same space and time with these talented Black men who are struggling inside of a world that tries to destroy us every day, yet they get up every morning for Fajr prayer. and think about all of the gratefulness that they have to God, despite the fact of coming from a people who've been in bondage for over 400 years. We thank you for coming in the person of Master Fard Muhammad to be a reflection of a man to raise us up, a man who could show us how to be men, because we did not know how to be men. And so I'm grateful to have other brothers in this process. I'm grateful for the brother who was at the door to let me in the mighty FOI class so that I could learn something and get out of the FOI class and begin to teach my people what I learned as a result of being a student of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. I'd like to see us as Black men begin to pray and really think about the power of our thoughts when we think good for one another. When you see a brother working hard and overcoming obstacles, there are brothers who got out of prison and he never went back again and became solid leaders in the community.
Yes.
We need to really start praising brothers who go get a PhD degree or higher education and then come back to areas that are dilapidated and begin to rebuild those areas. We got to look at Brother Patrick, what he's doing with group homes. Look at the talent in Brother Frank Muhammad. And Brother John Muhammad is like a magnet. Everywhere John go, he attracts somebody, man.
Absolutely.
And I've been all across the country with John. Look at what Mike does. Mike goes around and the kind of service he renders when people pass at janazah services, this is the funeral service for Muslims, and bringing families together sometimes that have beef with one another. There is much to praise about Black men, and too often our mouths are closed. Look at somebody like Brother John's father, Mr. Henry, who raised those young people. Every one of them has got an education, you know. They've never been hungry. That man worked 2 jobs, was a welder, practically ruined his sight in his eyes because of what he did welding. When are we going to say something about those kind of men in our community? See, this is what makes friends, when you give credit where credit is due, because oftentimes people are bitter because they feel so overlooked, and the overlooking of them is what creates the disrespect. I don't want to really feel so excited about this friendship in all walks of life, because this is what will get us our power back. I was in the barbershop today and I was talking about the mighty Christian deacons of defense. The deacons of defense, these mighty men of God, were the ones who protected not only the church, but they protected the real estate in the Black community, because oftentimes when Black people were at church historically, they would actually go to Black people's houses, steal or kill their livestock, and burn their fields in order to force them back into dependency.
Come on.
It was the deacons of defense that risked their life. And these men have been written out of history. And too often we might make a touchdown and say, "Hi, Mom." But somehow the enemy told us we couldn't say hi, Mom and Pop. I remember hearing a story, brother, you all may know him, but he's a great football player. And when his dad went to the red carpet with him, which his dad took him to football practice all the time, made him great. The enemy said, "Could you please step out the picture? We just want to take a picture of the mom and him," so that they can paint the narrative that Black men are not taking care of their children. So a friend, Minister Farrakhan, has been such a friend to the Black community. Every Black man in Black America that ever got in trouble, it was Minister Farrakhan who stood up for him. When they threw the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's name in the mud and in the garbage, it was Minister Farrakhan that picked his name up, gave him credibility again. You say, what? Yeah, they were going to write the Honorable Elijah Muhammad completely out of history like they did Booker T. Washington and Marcus Mosiah Garvey and John, all of the great black people, Nat Turner, all of them were written out of history or either became just a little footnote in history, but none of them were gifted with a friend like Farrakhan. All right? So
Right.
Minister Farrakhan has taught us something. And he's been our personal friend. You see, Brother Michael?
Absolutely. You 100 right.
So when
Yes,
I
sir.
hear that song, what a friend we have in Jesus.
In Jesus. Yes.
I grew up in the church. I guess I'm telling it now.
Yeah. Yes,
But
sir.
after that, it says, all of our grievances and sins he bears. Think about that. There are sins that we have that we take to the minister or to the Jesus. And he washes our soul and washes our spirit and gives us clarity and then clears the cloud over our mind and our eyes and makes us look at each other properly. If you notice, Muslims don't readily call each other the N-word.
That's right.
I never heard a Muslim call a black woman the B-word. Did you know that?
Beautiful.
That's because our friend taught us the value of the black woman. See, Minister Farrakhan taught us that. And he taught us based on what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught him. So a friend, one of the promises to the Muslims is that if we submit to God, we will get pure companions. Do you know what that means?
Yeah.
A pure companion. See, we're not hanging around each other to find fault in one another.
That's right.
If we see something that I'm doing a little wrong or you doing, we know how to pull each other kind of to the side.
Yeah.
And we know how to make a weak Muslim, he's still a Muslim, strong. But we don't tear down our brothers. And
that's right.
I don't like nobody talking evil about the black woman. You understand?
That's right. That's
so we talk our women up, we talk our people up because we are really their friends, Brother Michael. So
absolutely.
I'm not going to talk all night, but God knows I feel like I could.
Man, brother, but hold on to some of that. Hold on to some of that artillery, so we can keep this. We can keep this battle going all the way through. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful opening. Your words, brother Lewis, are so full, and I feel your spirit, brother, in what you're saying, and it's really right on point, man. When you start talking about the minister, you know, I have to bear witness too. You know, what a friend, brother. You know, and you know, whether you are a Muslim or a Christian or just an intelligent person, if you're just an intelligent person, if you look at what the brother has done per se, you see such a wonderful example of a friend. You know, and you know, and I think that's what's important. Our enemy has us so diluted, if you will, for lack of a better word, on titles that we fail to understand the substance, what's inside the bottle, what's inside, what's the key ingredients, what is the purpose of our relationship and our walk with Jesus, so that we can become brothers, so that we can love one another. As the scripture, love ye one another, even as I have loved you. What is the purpose of our walk with Muhammad? So we can become lovers of one another. We can become brothers. What's the principle? What's the ingredient? Not so that we can fight and kill one another. That's the agenda of Satan. That tells us that if you are practicing any type of faith that is keeping you in battle mode to fight your brother, then you might want to reevaluate your understanding of what it is that you say you believe. Because if it's not bringing you to a place of compassion, yeah, there's a time for war. There's a time for everything. But if it's not bringing you to a place of compassion and understanding, then you might want to reevaluate it, you know, because we got to fix the problem, man, that's going on in our community. Too many of our young boys are killing each other in the streets. Too many of our young girls are out here shaking. We were talking about the homecoming situation here in Houston, and we look at how lawless. I'm not talking about white man's law. I'm talking about nature and natural law. Lawlessness of our children, man. The gross immorality. Well, who fixes that? We can't wait on some mystery God to fix it. So it's twofold. One, we have to establish being better. ourselves, and then two, we have to give an example, a better example for our young people of what it looks like to be decent and sane, of going to what the minister has given us as an instruction, making our communities decent and safe places to live. So it starts with us. It starts with men. It starts with brothers. And that's where it starts. Brother John. Turn your mute off, black man.
Yes, sir. It's off now. Yes, sir. Sorry about that. I'm in a different spot, so people are kind of like moving around.
Okay, no problem.
Hear everything. So there's some people right next door. When they finish, I'll come in. Let one of them younger brothers come in, bro. Yes, sir.
Okay, beloved. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So any other brothers like to weigh in right at this point? We welcome you to weigh in. You can use the technology of waving your hand, or you can just wave your hand where I can see you. And we love to call on you to just hear your point of view on this. Yeah. Who was that, Brother Lewis?
Should have been here from Dr. Nash or Jay.
You kind of your audio is up on us.
Audio, Brother Lewis, something's off.
Okay, Brother Jay.
Brother Jay.
Yeah, I see. That's better, Brother Lewis. Jay, come on in there, Brother Jay. Come behind that sycamore tree, black man.
All right, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear. Yes, sir.
Good evening. Salam
There you go,
alaikum.
looking good, bro. Walaikum salam, black
Appreciate
man.
it, my
Look at
man.
that brother glowing. Boy, like
Yeah,
the light of
yeah,
God on that
something
black
right
man. What?
I'm trying
This
to get that
light
crispy
comes off
lineup
that
like
brother.
Brother Lewis. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
sir.
To the young, gifted in black.
Young, gifted, and black. Yeah, good to see you, black man.
You as well, my brother. Great topic. It requires unity. Any and everything that we do, I think it requires unity. It's a multitude of experience levels, wisdom, the ability to, deliver and exchange the knowledge. And everybody learn at a different rate. So a lot of us have a lot of skill sets dormant inside of us, and we just need that. Like, not everybody is. I learned in business that not everyone is or can be rather a starter and a finisher. Right? Some people could do a great job at starting a project, but they can't really close it out and finish it. Right. So sometimes you may need Brother Lewis to say, come on, man, I'll finish the backhand, like a relay race when you pass off the baton, And so that's pretty much how it is, though. And just having the ability to be critical thinkers, right? To know to even how to get started, what we're working on, right? Like, you may spend time burning wheels in your business using Chat GPT, but really you just need to be focused on sales to generate money in the business.
Yes.
All right. Yes. So just even having that ability to critical think, I think, is number one. And number two, and that comes with, developing your network group, I think, right? Because as you change your mind, your circle begins to naturally change. Hopefully, the quote from Muhammad Ali is, a man that views life at age 50 the same way that he viewed life at 25 has wasted 25 years of his life.
Ooh, powerful.
So, you got to be thankful, for just the overall ability to not only physically grow, but mentally grow.
Absolutely, brother Jay. Beautiful, brother. As usual, great wisdom. Well spoken, black man. Great wisdom, well spoken. Jam master, the real jam master. Brother Joshua, where you at, brother? You had us cooking last week, brother. If you can tap in, we love to hear from you. I see Dr. Nash in the building. I see we developing this going. And brother Patrick, we love to hear from you as well, black man. We know you loaded. We know you loaded, brother. So come on and put that thing out there and let it be known, because we got to blaze the trail. See, what's happening here is that we are creating what I call we are establishing a position. We're taking a position. And we also are waging a war, if you can understand it. And the war is a countermeasure, a serious countermeasure against all of the foolery that we are seeing every single day in our society, sometimes in our homes, in our neighborhoods. but we're seeing online over and over again. This is what we're seeing, brothers. See, so men of intelligence and men who are striving to be men of wisdom, men who are striving to be good, it is our obligation, brother, while we are on earth to make a difference. I think, Brother Lewis, you intimated to that. It's our responsibility to take a position. So we can't sit on the sideline, man, unless we get the divine plague of God for failing to do what is our responsibility, man. So we're here to talk. That's why we're pushed not just to talk, eventually to grow out of our words, making our word our bond. But we got to have a conversation and start this conversation to help go to war against the mentality. So the Bible said the battle is in the sky. Well,
That's right.
we got to go to war in the mind
That's
and
right.
establish a new beachhead behind the enemy lines and proceed to take over. I hear you, Brother John. I see you ready to pop it off.
Yeah,
Let's
brother
Brother
Josh is
Joshua
raising
go.
his hand up.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
yeah,
brother
Brother
Josh.
Joshua. Yes, sir, Brother Josh.
Assalamu alaikum.
Turn your mic on, black man.
Bro. Good to see you, black man.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, I can hear you good.
Yes,
Well,
sir.
these
Good to
brothers
see
is
you,
going.
brother
I don't know what
Josh.
y'all brothers
Good to see
drinking,
you.
man, but I need to get a shot of that good juice, whatever that is, brother. These brothers coming on here, Jay. These brothers so lit. But yes,
Assalamu
sir.
alaikum, brothers.
Walaikum salam.
I pray everybody's doing well today. It's been a great day on my end. Well, the first two things, kind of building off of what Brother Jay was saying, and then you also asked the question, Brother Michael, as far as if we're capable, are we capable of being friends to one another? Well, I do believe the capability is there. The need to be friends and brothers and to work together in a collective group is definitely that is the time and should be the agenda of every day that we are working to, on this earth, is to build a better bridge amongst each other. But Brother Jay was mentioned about critical thinking, and just kind of expound on that. I do believe that is a big component to a lot of our issues, especially in the Black community, is critical thinking, because we, as you saw in Houston with the event that happened out there, is like there's obviously no critical thinking that's happening. I don't think anyone in that moment thought what I'm doing right now is going to affect me or affect the way people view Black people moving forward in a few days from now. And I think that is a big component that we lack, is that foresight, seeing things before they come. I mean, just even when you
Yes.
look at a lot of the issues today, we may look at the past, and a lot of times someone may bring up a scripture from the Bible or even from the Quran, and some of our people that are ignorant will say, "Well, what does that mean? What does that mean?" It's just like a history lesson to them. Well, if you were smart, you would use that history as part of your critical thinking to see the future and know the time now and what
Yes.
must be done. And
Yes.
that is, I mean, just key to even just building a friendship. And I'll tie it into that question that you had asked, because when I'm engaging with my brother and I deal with him and work with him, I need to be looking, I see him today, but I need to be looking for the future of him. I need to take care of him
Yeah.
later on down the line. When those individuals who stood up to back the minister after this
Yeah.
white man in this world has torn it down to nothing, to where they totally
Yes.
forgot the name of Elijah Muhammad and Master
Yes.
Fard Muhammad, it was
Yes.
the vision that those individuals of being friends of Allah, being friends of
Yes.
the minister,
Yes.
to stand up and
Yes.
back him, because they saw the foresight, not of just what they're trying to do today, but 10, 20 years from now, our grandchildren, our great grandchildren moving forward. And that is something I think we lack in our communities, is that foresight. So part of that critical thinking, to be friends, we have to channel looking into the future. So
Beautiful. Thank you, beloved. Thank you, beloved. Appreciate your wisdom, black man, and your input. It means so much. It triggered something, brother Joshua. A couple of things. It reminded me of what we learned, where I think it was that the minister said that the God said he had went before us and have made many friends for us. There are friends that are waiting on us to rise to a certain level of intelligence and maturity that are there in position to help us. Yeah, there are wise people on this planet. And we have to get to a certain level of elevation in the way we think and conduct ourselves. We can use the term get on our square, show that we are cognitive and conscious of our responsibility. And then what happens is these people start to show themselves to us. They come to support and help us in whatever it is that we're trying to do because they may have some level of advanced knowledge or information that's ready for us once we get to that certain level. God has made many friends for us. Brother Lewis said something also, and I want to come back to it because when Joshua mentioned that, it kind of triggered that to pray for your brother. Oh my God, I don't want us to miss that. That Brother Lewis, I almost let it slide. Brother hit it something and triggered it back to my brain because that removes toxins from your psyche when it comes to your brother. I remember Brother Ibrahim, which was brother uh, brother that I was under in leadership, Minister Preston at that time in Des Moines. His father was Ibrahim. He was over the supermarket. When Honorable Elijah Muhammad was present. So he has a very significant relationship with Honorable Elijah Muhammad, how the Honorable Elijah Muhammad would come into the supermarket and check the cleanliness of it. And, and they had a good relationship, right? In that regard, as he was working and running the store. And I remember I was going to pick him up. We got a U-Haul. He was moving to Iowa. I went to Chicago. I was in the U-Haul. And at that time, I was experiencing some serious disheartened feelings because I was sensing something from those others that I were around that I felt like, it was negative. You know what I mean? I didn't know if it was envy, I want to call it envy or jealousy or something to this degree, but it was hurting me. That's all I knew because it was foreign to me because I'm never a jealous or envious brother, And so, Brother Lewis, hit that again. There you go. Say it again.
How old were you at the time when that happened?
Oh, thank you, beloved. Yes, I think I would have been in my early 20s, so I would have been in my early 20s easily, maybe 22, and I remember, I was just hurting because I'm reading the Quran, I'm learning, I'm growing in my faith, and I could, when you come into this wisdom, you can feel the light growing in you. That's the beautiful thing about it, brother. Anybody who taps into the process, of divinity, you start to feel the divinity growing in you. So I could feel the light, and then I'm raising brothers up. I'm by Allah's permission, bringing brothers into the fold. Quite a few brothers and sisters into the fold. So there was a light around you when you have that kind of, when you got that kind of presence and gift, alhamdulillah, right? And so I'm sensing an uncomfortable attention, I would like to put. I'm being nice by saying what I'm saying. I'm using a soft language, but that hurt me. So I was riding with Brother Ibrahim, and we were on our way back, and I asked him because he was an elder, been around. I said, Brother Ibrahim, how do you deal with, envy, or when you sense something coming up in your heart, or whatever, because, envy is twofold. If you react to it, you participate in it. Simple as that, So you got to fight to not participate in it if it starts to affect you. And he said, brother, the way I handle it, the way I learned, he said, say, may Allah bless you, and may Allah bless them, and may Allah bless me too. Or may Allah bless them, and may Allah bless me too. And it was something very significant about this. So whenever I would feel somebody having a negative energy for me, as opposed to me reacting to it, I would utter out those words that he gave me, and it was like it relieved me. It protected me of even participating or even going any further, allowing it to have any more of an impact on me. And that's why I was going at what I was saying about what you said about praying for your brother, Brother Lewis, because it releases toxins. If we start to pray and pray for our brother and acknowledge the good of our brother as a pattern of practice, brother, just imagine, black men, just imagine, brothers, how everything changes immediately. Just imagine when you start to pray, Brother Joshua mentioned, you start to pray to see excellence come out of your brother. I want to see, like you said, brother, I want to see you with a beautiful family, brother. I want to see you happy, brother, and smiling, brother. I want to see you. I want to see you healthy and with good health and well-being, brother. I want that for you. I really, really desire that for you as my brother. See, so when we start to take on that kind of mind and we become those kind of human beings, the whole culture changes. We change the culture. We have to stop thinking in this way where we are waiting on accident or waiting on, as we would say, the mystery God. And I'm coming to you, Brother John. But we have to understand that we can do a thing and it could create a reaction. God has given us that ability, that power from Himself. So we can do something that changes the current and the energy. We can engineer society. Think over that. We can create a social engineering that says we refuse to be inwards. We refuse to be haters of a brother. We refuse to be the first one to tear a brother down when he make a mistake in the public. We refuse to take the side of our enemy at any point. We refuse to be those kind of brothers. We refuse to be that. We choose to be the kind of brother that will hit you in your inbox and say, "Hey, brother, I'm praying for you, man. Brother, if there's a way I can support you, man, and help you work through this, I would certainly love to be of support to you, brother. I understand what it's like maybe to go under attack and to be beat down in the public, man. You know, if you've been through that walk, and I certainly have, you know, you've been through that walk, then you know how to walk through it because you know what it took for you to get through it. It took something serious for you to get through that thing, bro. You know, and so when I was sharing with my experience with the minister, I just remember what I was going through in that moment. I said, one, I'm going through this over here, back here, but here God put me right here in the presence of this beautiful human being and what's coming out of his mouth. So it's like two different tracks happening at the same time. And the words coming out of his mouth were so powerful and nourishing my soul to help me to be able to make it through that dark moment of my life. And I'm not saying that I didn't contribute to that dark moment. You know, we all make mistakes in our development. Some of it was my contribution. Some of it was just pure envy and hatred of people seeing your gift and your talent, who look for every flaw they can in you as a person to try to bring you down, because that's the program and the culture of Satan that we got to go to war with. That's the culture we got to go to war with, brothers. Praise be to Allah, Brother John.
Yes, sir. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. The people next door, they done moved around.
Yes,
I
sir.
want to kind of shift a little bit and get us to really start thinking the time and what must be done right now.
Yes,
this
sir.
is the reason why we're talking about friendship among us. Don't you see, can't we all see that these corporations are becoming friends? These corporations are not moral entities. They don't care about anything. They only care about the bottom line. So when you see all these people coming together, creating these data centers, working together, sharing information, because circling the wagons among themselves, I mean, we need to start thinking if they doing it, we got to do it.
That's right.
There's no way we gonna survive what's coming down the pipe if we don't put our differences aside and start thinking strategically and start saying, look, friendship, we gonna have to, whether we like each other or not, we are a necessity. We are a necessity for each other. There's no way in the world we're gonna survive this individually. I'm telling you, all across the world, corporations, they seeing war, they seeing everything that's happening, and they're saying, hold up, we can't do this. We can't get oil, well, what are we gonna do? We can't get this, what are we gonna do? How are we gonna do this? What are we saying? Do we even understand what's happening right now? Can't you see the shift? Can't you feel the shift, what's coming on,
brother.
what's coming right now? And it better be a shift towards true friendship, trust. It better be a shift towards true looking at ourselves and say, can I be a brother? What do I need to survive? Do we have, we got to put these things together. We got to be able to say, all right, Brother Patrick, he does trucking. So I know he can deliver stuff. Brother Lewis over here, he's a builder. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So Brother Paul's a pharmacist. He may help you with some drugs. Whatever we doing, we have to be able to start combining our resources. Brother Jay, he know all about it. He's in the AI and into the new technology and stuff like that. If we don't start identifying each other's talents, gifts, and what each other have can bring to the table, it won't be anybody left to be friendships. We all gonna be separate. We're gonna be scattered in the winds. We're gonna be like the dry bones in the valley. The winds are blowing right now. When them dry bones gonna get up, get together, connect, and become friends? That's what I want to know.
Beautiful.
That's what I want to know. Who wants to do? Brother Patrick, I'm listening to you, Brother Patrick.
I think Brother Jay had his hand up, and then we're gonna go right to Brother Patrick. But Brother John, just let me say, brother, you're blazing the trail, brother. You're blazing the trail. You're blazing the trail.
Yes, sir.
Brother, you're blazing the trail, brother. You're blazing the trail because you're right on it, brother. We got to pay attention to the time. So there is a sense of urgency in what we're dealing with here. You know, we're talking about what it is, this principle, but the sense of urgency on us to be friends and to be brothers.
It is right now.
It's right now.
This is not down the road, brothers. This is today.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Brother Jay, jump in there, soldier.
Yeah, man, I want to just say I appreciate Brother John for, like you said, igniting that fire. Spark the mind. That's what a good brother do, right? Think tank. I agree 100%. And I wanted to piggyback off that and also say and make the recommendation that us specifically as Black men, we need to learn the art and master the art of implementation and taking action.
Teach.
You know, because when you take action, you drive results.
That's right.
Whether it's results that you want immediately or not, you have some sort of results, right? And that is what you would call market data, which is very valuable, right? They have us on these social media platforms. That's what they have, data that they're selling. You know, like Brother John said, and he's 100% right, data centers. I just saw ChatGPT, they're making, or they're not making, but they're doing ads now. So with ads, you have to know that you're going to have targeted ads. So they can say, hey, Brother Michael, you want to get your podcast to more Black men? Let us know the age, demographic, location, etc. That's all data centers. So where's the data coming from? From your chat history. You know, so again, that kind of ties into my point about critical thinking, because you know, you don't want to pour your life into these mystery gods nor mystery bots and agents. You know, so you want to deploy some sort of critical thinking and knowledge, because that's the only way you're going to really be able to get the best results out of these tools anyway. Based on it's not a mind reader.
That's right.
But people are out deploying and outsourcing their critical thinking skills to these agents. But it's only the output is only as good as the input. That's the same with you in your life.
Absolutely.
You know, the output is only as good as the input. You get what you put out of life, right? That's all implementation and taking action.
Absolutely.
So, absolutely. I appreciate you, Brother John, for igniting that, sparking that, what you said.
Oh, yeah. Yes, sir. No problem, brother. I'm trying to be a brother. I want to be your friend, brother, but a friend got to tell you the truth. This is not the time to be sitting around here thinking that we got time. I'm telling you, things are coming down the road. Brother Lewis, Brother Mike, and myself, we're at the point now where we're getting ready to start asking brothers and demanding brothers to start coming together, pool our resources, and we are getting ready to move out and going from city to city with the new name we now have. We Must First Be Brothers Institute. You have to understand what that means by the institute and why we pushing it. We have to get to the language where we have to grow, where we have to evolve and and get something. Look, these young brothers, you are right there and right now where you're getting ready to get what's coming down. If you haven't prepared yourself, this is what you need. And they're going to hold off from this war, in my humble opinion, until this World Cup is over with. It's too much money to be lost. They just came out and said that they have agreed to everything and have gotten the most money. The FIFA has gotten the most money they ever gotten with these sponsorships, and they got 2 more cities left. Do you understand that in almost every city right now, FIFA, well, I'm gonna take Houston, but I know in all the cities, they already saying it's gonna bring a $1.5 billion injection into the economy over 3 weeks. So they're telling you we're gonna hover over the city of Houston with a helicopter. You know how they put that water in them helicopters and push out the fire? They're gonna drop $1.5 million downtown Houston, and you won't even go get a sack of money, let alone a trench of money. This is $1.5 billion in 3 weeks. From June 14th to July the 4th. That's the last game. That's 3 weeks.
Yeah. Powerful.
3 weeks. We got 72 days for us on this thing to put something together and get some of this money. Simple as that. It don't take much. It don't take much. Even if we out there slinging T-shirts. I'm just saying, it makes no sense for these people to tell us what's coming down the road, and we looking at each other, and we won't become friends long enough to go over here and say, let's change somebody's condition. Let's change somebody. Let's change. Like you say, Brother Mike, let's change the atmosphere. Let's start a dough going. Huh? Let's get something going to where we're uniting just like everybody else. So you think these people individually going at that 1.5 million? Billion, not million, 1.5. Are they individually going at that 1.5 billion? Or are they coming together and say, look, like Jay say, I might not be the starter, but I'm gonna finish it. I just need to go ahead and hand that off. And you got the curve, bro. You know, I should run that curve in that 400. You know, I ran that curve, so I got you in the curve.
A few drips. Yes, sir.
I got that curve. Somebody else ran the straight, but I got the curve.
Brother John.
So it's as simple as that. Who got the straight and who got the curve?
Can they hear me?
I'm telling you,
yes, sir.
They coming together. All these corporations, everybody, especially right now, they know it's a time where America is falling. They know that this petrodollar will not be here long.
Absolutely.
This is the type of talk, this is the type of action, brotherhood, we have to actually put on the table. There's nothing else left. What our children gonna do? In 18 months, do you understand that last month they fired 108,000 people? These corporations fired 108,000 people, and they said in no limited time, there's more to come.
More to come.
Brother John.
Then at the same time, they're telling you we dropped $1.5 billion downtown Houston. The World Cup is going to be in New Jersey, Dallas, Houston, San Francisco, Mexico City, Toronto. Do you understand how much money that is?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, I'm not talking money. I use the wrong word.
That's like humility.
Opportunity that is. Can everybody there? Brother Patrick.
Yeah, we here.
Brother Patrick, I see you.
No, I think Brother Brian was trying to say something. Where you at, brother Brian? Yeah, Brother Brian.
Yes, Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, brother. Yes, sir.
Welcome to everybody. Hello, everybody. This is my first time being on. I'm grateful to be a part of this meeting. Brother John invited me to the meeting, and I'm really grateful for that. I'm late, but I want to say this here. It's the humility piece that Brother John spoke to me about. That's what my mind keeps going to. If a brother can humble himself, understand to come together for the sake of purpose, for the sake of what's going on, the focal point, what's the goal, what are we doing? Because one thing about when brothers come together and they focus together, how can you get 11 brothers on a football team and they trying to win a Super Bowl, but we can't have enough brothers come together right here to have our own Super Bowl, so to say. You know what I'm saying?
Man. Yes.
So no, Brother John is spot on. All of you all are spot on. And like he said last night, when I saw him last night, he spoke about action. And it's one thing we talking about it, but that action. And that's something that I experienced with my time in the military. I was with a lot of brothers who was about action.
Yes.
We were deployed, but yet we came together to make that deployment enjoyable as much as you can with the circumstances. That you say, hey, we know what's going on around us, but let's focus on the matter at hand. You know, keeping each other lifted up, keeping each other prayed up, encouraging each other, and focusing on a goal. And one thing I love about Brother John's is he has a spirit of greatness, and it's something that I want to be a part of because it takes a village, and we a brotherhood. It's a village of brothers.
Absolutely, brother.
And so, yeah, I'm all for it. And anything I could do to be of support, to be of help, hands-on, active, and being a part of change. We can't, we speak so many people. Matter of fact, he said it last night. He said so many people speak change, but they're not acting on change. They're not being a part of the change. They're not making a change.
That's right,
So
bro.
so that's something that really touches my soul, like being a part of the change and being proactive.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, brother. Beautiful,
Thank you
brother.
for coming on too, brother.
Brother Brian, thank you so much.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
thank you. And thank you for weighing in on that because that's right on point, brother. And it really comes right off of what Brother Jay was talking about. And we are definitely about action. We're moving toward action, but we start this conversation to lead us to that action. And that's where we at. We're still moving in that direction. So we have to continue to build, But the thing, Brother Jay, you said something about implementation and studying that. I'd like to suggest that, Brother Lewis mentioned something about us having an assignment. I think that is one of the assignments that we should take upon ourselves as brothers is to all go and study what Brother Jay mentioned. And that's the science of implementation. I think you hit it right on point, Brother Jay. Some of us may already know, and if you know, you'll be very beneficial in our dialogue when we start to build on the conversation, and then when we start to actually implement. But we have to do what we're saying we're going to do, and sometimes we might talk about what we need to do, but when the brothers drop a jewel out there, then we want to catch that jewel. Brother John lit the fire on the action steps of where we're going. This is a very significant part of what we're here to do. What we must first be brothers. We must first be brothers is not we must first have a conversation.
That's right.
It's a conversation that we're having, but we must first be brothers is about building something in the way that we need to build. You go down to throw that dirt. You know what I'm saying? You just feel proud all over. You go on Instagram, you see my brother hit 100 and some thousand people hitting it. It's viral. Meaning my brother is making waves all around the country, Brother Lewis. It makes you feel proud. It makes you feel proud when you see progress being made with your brother. You see what I'm saying? So, I remember I was going to throw that dirt. Throw that dirt. It's something spiritual about saying throw that dirt. Because throwing dirt is activating the earth. And cultivating the earth, moving the topsoil around, moving the top to the bottom. It's tilling the soil, and in so doing, you enrich the soil. You got action in the soil. You see, so we got to throw that dirt. We got to produce. We got to implement things. Brother Jay and then Brother Lewis.
That's it. Yeah. Amen to what you're saying.
Yes, sir. Real quick, throw that dirt. But he's saying this for people that don't know. Brother Lewis has a 50-acre ATV park, 50 or 60 acre. It's huge. ATV park, and it's called Throw That Dirt in Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Yes, sir. Shameless. Brother Jay, run it down there.
Yeah, that was
take us down through there, Brother Jay.
Yeah, you just said quite a few there. But man, I mean, it's always spot on, and it's a few points that was made. Number one, what Brother John said, the time is now. The time is definitely now. And to what you said about just going back and really looking up and looking into what implementation mean as an assignment, I'm going to challenge to another degree an assignment of don't just look it up because we can't do the bare minimum. A part of implementation. And I always say the differentiating factor between a employee and an entrepreneur is an employee task is outlined for him. An entrepreneur has the ability to outline his own task to get to the goal, a set list of objectives, that needs to be accomplished, and he can outline a goal from himself from there, and has the ability to adjust on the fly too,
Absolutely.
because you may gotta take a pause on learning the AI agents to work on the marketing of your business.
Yeah.
All right. And so, you and see many of us, like, we oftentimes get so caught up on the process, right? Which is essentially fear, waiting for that perfect moment and trying to know everything, and using a lot of cop outs and excuses, if you will. And what happens is we end up building a pattern loop. Well, I'm gonna do it tomorrow. I'm gonna do it next week.
Come on.
I'm gonna do it. Okay, what's today? Oh, the 30th. I'm gonna start fresh in April. I'm gonna start April 1st, and it become a pattern loop. And what end up happening is that's your nervous system, right? So when you begin to take that big leap, like you said, you hear Brother Lewis, Brother Michael on the call, like, man, these some powerful Black brothers, yeah. But then the fear kick in. I'm gonna lose my house if that paycheck don't hit in the next 2 weeks, and all this other stuff. And it again, it's your nervous system on a deeper level. Dr. Nash can probably attest to some of this, and it just keep you from doing things. So that's why I said I want to put that out there to, outline a project for yourself, because that's how you're going to be of value not only to Brother Lewis or me, but to yourself. That's a huge part of being a Black, not just a Black man, but Black women too. Black women getting laid off.
Absolutely.
So if you give a person the ability to feed you, you also give them the ability to starve you.
Absolutely.
You see that now, right? It's unfortunate, but crying 50, 60, years old, and it's kind of sad and disheartening. You go all these years, and then you go to work Friday, and come Monday you don't have a job, and now all your years and years of bad decision making begin to haunt you because of your fear. Because everybody know what they need to do. You know what I'm saying? Everybody know they need to find some clients open, but they're getting distracted by Instagram or the Grammy Awards or whatever devices. Maybe watching football. Like, I don't engage in small talk. I couldn't tell you 5 NFL players, respectfully. That don't make me more than a man. It's just not my interest. Like, we all have limited time. We all like saying we got the same 24 hours, but we really don't have full 24. If you're getting a proper rest, and if you got a job, you commuting back and forth to the job to provide for your family, you may got about a good working 12 to 16. So it really matter in crunch time what you're going to do or not going to do.
Right.
Because that's where your life is, and essentially is a direct reflection of the decisions you make or don't make. And not making a decision is making a decision to not make a decision. You know what I'm saying? So,
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So that's that.
Yes, sir. Brothers, throw your email in the chat. Brother Jay, we're gonna solicit you a little bit on this. If you have anything that you want to suggest in terms of something that a process that you think would be good. We're gonna lean on that wisdom from you, my brother, and others, Brother Lewis, or y'all can collaborate, or whoever. If you want to collaborate, I just think it's important to your point, because I think it's valuable. And I think those who are listening, maybe you're not participating directly with this call or whatever, those who are listening, these are things that we want to start doing. These are things that we need to activate so that we can prepare ourselves. Because one thing I appreciate about Brother John, and why it's so significant in what you brought to the table, is that sense of urgency. The time is always the most significant thing. That's all we have is time. There's one thing we cannot get back. It's time. You know what I'm saying? So we have to be wise in how we utilize time and invest our time. It's the greatest investment that we can offer. It's our life. So that's very important. Brother Lewis.
Can't hear you, Brother Lewis.
mic tonight. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Much
sir.
better. Yeah, that's it.
It's kind of, you know, a lot of times with friends, you don't really know who your friends are until you have a trial. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
When you have a trial or a problem and you get in a certain situation, then you get to find out really who your friends are.
Mm.
You know, they had a lot of people screaming, Hosanna, Hosanna in the highest until they put Jesus on the cross.
That's right.
Even though he had been a friend to so many, making some people who were blind see and making deaf people hear and even raising people from the dead, yet when he got in a trial, not too many people there.
That's right.
So this is something about where was his brethren? Well, one of them denied him, but there was another one that actually betrayed him during that hour.
Right.
And this has been a pattern with Black men, where we've been betrayed by even family members. So a lot of times, the fear of being betrayed, being denied, being castigated, being slandered, it actually restricts our action and moving to the point that dear brother Jay is talking about, and you're talking about, brother Michael, brother John. This is why We Must Be Brothers First is such a great platform, because the sparring helps you to understand the thinking of the brothers that are participating in this think tank. All right? Thank you, Dr. Nash. I'm going to give an example. Most Black men that you talk to on the one-on-one, whether they be entertainers or public figures or even politicians, they are not pro homosexuality or homophile. You hear what I'm saying? Yet, when someone like the young brother who I believe, well, he's a self-professed Christian, Jaden Ivey. Have y'all seen that? Where the Chicago Bulls let this young man go because he didn't want to participate in so-called Pride Month. Did y'all see that there?
Yes,
Brother
sir.
Jay, did you see that? Or any of you younger
Yeah,
brothers?
I recently saw that. Yeah.
Well, the interesting point is, I seen a Caucasian that actually stood up for him. I didn't see the brothers gathered around that man saying, hey, this brother got a right to freedom of speech. And if he says he's a Christian, he doesn't have to be pro LGBTQP and whatever other letters that they have at this time. So, like, if I'm your friend and we agree, this is what made Brother Akbar and the companions of Minister Farrakhan, including Dr. Ava Muhammad, so valuable. When the Revelations 2 and 9 group and Revelations 3 and 9 group, and you know the group I'm talking about, begin to bark out and spew out all of this anti-Black man, anti-Farrakhan rhetoric, the minister's companions, with the exception of a few Judases, stood their ground. And I believe part of the test of our brotherhood is going to be, how do we handle opposition when we know we're right? And Brother Michael stands up for right, or Brother Jay stands up for right, and the rest of us pretend all of a sudden because we're afraid, because the Quran does say the devil threatens you with poverty and enjoins you to be niggardly. See? So there's always a threat that he puts on our people. If you say you ain't pro LGBTQP and all this here, I'll take your money from you. See what he's saying?
Mm-hmm.
And in taking your money from you and stripping you like they stripped Jesus, took all of his clothes off. Oh, look at him now. He ain't too bad now. He ain't got nothing. I stripped him. See, this is a phobia that we got to get past. I don't want nobody to know I'm a Muslim. If I'm a Muslim, they'll fire me off my job. This is why the Honorable Elijah Muhammad just cuts through all of that and just says, do for self. Organize, pool your resources together. Don't even play the game. Because soon as you get up the ladder and you're making that $150,000 a year, that's when the Farrakhan litmus test will come. Hey, you just be casually shooting basketball or cooking or doing whatever you're doing. How do you feel about Farrakhan? Don't he teach hate? See? That's not being a friend. So when people call me on the phone or I'm talking, how you doing, Brother Lewis? Oh, I'm still fighting the devils. I want to be known that I'm in fight shape and in fight mode because I already know that it's going to be a fight. These people are literally thought police. A thought police is not your friend. And this is why I believe that what's on the back of the Final Call newspaper is so significant to Black America because it just cuts through the BS. Point number 9, we believe that the offer of integration is hypocritical and is made by those who are trying to deceive the Black people into believing that their 400-year-old enemy of freedom, justice, and equality are all of a sudden their friends. Furthermore, we believe that such deception is intended to prevent Black people from realizing that the time in history has arrived for separation from the whites of this nation. If the white people are truthful about their professed friendship towards so-called Negroes, they can prove it by dividing up America with their now ex-slaves. We do not believe that America will ever be able to furnish enough jobs for her own millions of unemployed, in addition to jobs for 20 million, now almost 50 million Black people. So we just want to cut through the chase. If you're my friend, why don't you want me to be free, justified, and made equal? And why can't we have some of this earth to call our own? See, all of this other stuff, to me, and this is just my humble opinion, as long as we got dirt, we got the opportunity to grow food. We got the opportunity to build houses. We got the opportunity to do something for ourselves. But when you have someone blocking the door of responsibility, then they give you all these fake issues. What if the dollar fall? What the hell if the dollar do fall? The medium of exchange don't necessarily have to be paper. That's them in between us anyway. Who gives a damn? Maybe then when we can get down to serious thought, reasoning, and how we can negotiate things between ourselves. And I know it's kind of harsh language, Brother Mike.
No, it's actually right on.
The reality is, when the Great Depression came, I think it might have been in 1929 or somewhere along in there. When it hit, this is after 1915, when the great Booker T. Washington made his transition off this earth. There were many Black people that didn't even affect because they never had paper money. They were bartering and making deals with each other, and they own more land than we do collectively now. Last point. Whenever we're in trauma, white people give us some solutions, and then some of the so-called educated ones among us take the white solution. Number 1, At one point in the country, they told us if we got religion, we could get freedom. So we became Christians. All of us wanted to go to church and all. Great, fine. We became Christians, okay? Then they start telling us about if we just got a good education. And a lot of us went out and got a great education. We got so much education, but we ain't free. Then a lot of them said, well, if you just got the right to vote and Dr. King is doing the right thing, you get the right to vote, we still ain't free. And now it's real tricky, but they didn't told us if we get a lot of money, paper money, and they know they're getting ready to crash the dollar and go digital or some other.
Teach.
It's a game. It's a game. The issue is we are connected to a group of people whose time has expired and they want to take us to hell with them. Our covenant with death has to be broken, and our agreement with hell has to be disannulled in order for us to have friendship. Do you know that the black woman was the black man's best friend, not a dog? We didn't go around saying our best friend was a dog. Our best friend was our woman. She was our second self. She is our second self. But now they've drove a wedge between the black man and the black woman, and they all but have switched roles to where we almost find it unbearable to be with each other. Not me personally, but I'm speaking generally. They have so poisoned the mind of the black man and the mind of the black woman against each other until it's great hostility. What happened to the friendship? See, there's an enemy in between us, and we got to cast that devil out. It is a waste of time to run around talking all day long about money without talking about a land of your own and governing yourself and conducting yourself like a righteous man or a righteous woman. And I'm not knocking money. Yes, I guess I'm not knocking. I'm not knocking education. I'm not knocking religion. I'm not knocking any of that. But what I'm saying, in order for us to be true friends, we got to see the significance of a program that's before us. Like a lot of us like to ignore the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's program. I don't like it, and I don't think that we can really be friends in a long-term kind of way ignoring it. I hear a lot of talk about AI. So the Honorable Elijah Muhammad been telling us for years that we need to open our own schools and be in charge of the education. That's education. I'm not knocking it, but that is a area where a lot of poison is pumped into our culture through education, particularly with our children. We need our own schools. We don't need them for schools. We rely. I'll stop this in just a moment. I was in a meeting just last night, and they kept talking about what the government or the city could do. We need to spend a lot more time talking seriously about the little things that we can do together. For instance, and this might be a challenge, could we sell 10,000 watermelons this summer? We don't want to get our hands dirty for that. And if we sold 10,000 watermelons this summer, could we come up with a strategic plan on what we would do with the money and how we would set up a beachhead? I think we could. These are the things that black men, could we sell 10,000 bean pies? Who would sponsor among us? We're talking about friends. We want to, create a trial so we test the friendship. This is real, How could we do it? Could we build so that when we come back to the table next year, Could we tell Dr. Ridgely down there at Muhammad's farm, I can guarantee you that we can sell 1,000 watermelons. What's the price? Get off the internet for a second. Let's get together in a room and let's figure out what the price is. See, now you're talking the language of people. A lot of people, maybe they won't join the per se religion. I don't even care about that there. But if they'll join the work, that's even better. You feel what I'm saying?
That's right, bro.
Do we have a place that we could keep for a reasonable time, an area where we could say somebody's coming from Texas, somebody's coming from Mississippi? So because you build brotherhood and camaraderie by winning together, working and winning together.
Yes.
They were just little boys. They became the A team because every time if you with me, you gotta work. We gotta grind, baby. Because we're behind, so we gotta grind. And that's how we learn from one another and ultimately respect one another. People who get divorces, and most divorces it ain't even about just money. What makes a divorce oftentimes and the breaking of brotherhood is stagnation.
Absolutely.
Where we're hanging around one another, but we're not making any progress, collective progress together. And so we become negative and ultimately toxic. So it's very important.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. It's very important.
Go ahead.
Not only that we do things together and highlight these victories, like Brother Rockman and Brother John are bearing me witness. He said, when we was in the FOI, we were always on a mission. See, the FOI got to be on a mission.
Right.
You can't. We can't have this.
Men,
you know what?
Men
got to be on men have to be on a mission. If we ain't on no mission, then we're disrespected because they think we just talking. And everybody can do that. They can say something. And we should never, ever, ever minimize the value of what we're talking about tonight. That should not be devalued.
That's right.
But we I don't like it when people, they just talking. Well, how do you get ideas across from one another? See, that's disrespectful there. We need to talk. But the difference in us and some group is that our talk is like Ali, he did a lot of talking, but he backed it up, what I'm saying?
And I think that's the point. That's the primary, Brother Lewis, and that is that we are moving into phases of everything we're doing, and you're gonna see. And I'm not here to prove it to anyone else but ourselves, really. I know what this is, and I know that this is a season and a mission that's so beyond what most people could even begin to imagine. You just want to see for yourself, But one thing I will say, Brother Lewis, you just really made a very powerful statement, even an example about the watermelons. See, something that most might say, well, that's not vogue. That's not the end thing. No, that is the vogue, and that is the end thing. If you got 10,000 watermelon, how much one unit of watermelon costs? If we can get a watermelon for $2 a melon or $3 a melon, and that's 10,000, that's 30,000 upfront cost, right? But the profit margin for that is surmountable, right? So my point is, and then like what you said, brother, being able to leverage that. This is how we have to think. This is really how Elijah Muhammad was operating. So take what we produce together as brothers, and then go invest it and build something even greater than where we started at. That's intelligent. That's implementation. That's real work. And I remember learning this early on, that work is the highest form of worship. You see, so when you get out and you actually do something, you actually are now developing and cementing a real brotherhood, because we have battle scars together. We're tired together. When a man that worked in the field all day, or been in the sun, or push some agenda, whether you Christian, Muslim, whatever your agenda is, because I want to make sure we have a universal appeal in our points here, because it is universal. Even when we say Muslim, we are really saying universal, just so you know. But the point is that when we activate on that level, That's where the love, I've grown to love, the brothers that I've grown to love from my journey in this process is because we done did some hard work out in that field, going after our people. You know, we've done some hard work getting up in the early part of the day and closing the whole day out until it's nighttime, until it's time to go home. And sometimes past the hour of eating because we didn't work and fasted throughout the whole day just serving. And it cements real brotherhood. So I think there's a lot of critical and crucial points, Brother Lewis, and even covering what you mentioned with Honorable Elijah Muhammad and how it is essential that we start to think. This is how a free thinking people are programmed to think. And this is why we mentioned Honorable Elijah Muhammad. How are we going to let them write out this black man out of history who's done really miracles among black people? You know, we can't allow that to happen. And it offered a viable solution to us to help us to overcome and salvage our condition, not only salvage, but to advance our condition and move forward. I see you, Brother Hoyle. And then I want to hear from my brother Pat after Brother Hoyle, if you be ready to grace us with a few words. And
yes, sir. Assalamu alaikum. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, sir. I can hear you, Brother Hoyle. Yes, sir.
Praise be to Allah. Assalamu alaikum to the strong brotherhood. Praise be to Allah. All of the brothers had some beautiful, especially what Brother Lewis said. He sent me something earlier today, Brother Michael and Brother John and the rest of the brothers, that was very, very, very important in this time we're living in. And you know, Brother Lewis always says skills pay the bills. He sent me something. I don't know if you know this white guy's name, Mike Rowe. He comes on, he does this show called Dirty Jobs, but he has a foundation, and he put out an alert, and he said population collapse. And he's the CEO, and he was saying that these jobs are going to be taken over by AI, but the ones that are going to be paying money are the skills jobs. You know, your builders, plumbers. You know, what during the first resurrection, most of the people that started there, they just came together and united and built businesses. It wasn't. It was done out of necessity. You know, it was all Minister Farrakhan said, we're not going to come by word, we're going to come by whipping. But it's going, we're going to get help. Allah is doing this in a timely way because, we've been so robbed and spoiled. And then, like Dr. Ridgely said, this outsourcing situation came really to attack the black family, especially the black male. You built prisons, but you sent all the manufacturing jobs to China, overseas, and all of that. But we don't need that. We can build for ourselves. And Allah is making all the situations. He's tearing up this world as we speak. He's freeing the Middle East. All those Arabs are kissing butt. Iran is tearing all that situation up. So he's purifying that area. So in a way, he's going to make us where we're going to be forced to come together. And like I said, with this, we must first come, brother. This is beautiful because, like I said, this is a think tank and we're organizing because, hey, we could be talking about something else, going to the casino or the club or something stupid. But no, we're talking about what the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Minister Louis Farrakhan, is about building businesses. You don't have too many groups talking like this, brother. And this is powerful. So I thank you all for allowing me, just put my little 2 cents in there and anything I can do to help. So this is a very productive. Brothers, if you wherever you're at, listen, share it, because this is something, we got all the talent we have in the world, here, and more is coming, brothers. So, we got to build. This thing, it got to fall. It's falling as we speak. So, but thank you, Brother Lewis, for sending me that, and I looked at it and I said, we got to have builders, and these, if you go on my Facebook page, and I have it, it's called Population Collapse. It says CEO, that's Mike Rowe. You've seen him on, Dirty Jobs and different shows like that, but he's over, but he was just talking about how these skills jobs and, what they say, blue collar work, agriculture and all of that, that's going to be well, Minister Farrakhan told us the next millionaire is going to be in the farming business. So, You know, but AI, you know, Satan runs that anyway. So, but our AI is Master Farad Muhammad. That's AI on him and the teachings let's make our communities a decent and safe place. I'm gonna let somebody else talk. And
Thank you, Brother
God
Hoyle.
bless you,
Appreciate
brother.
you, brother. Good to hear
Yes,
from you, black
appreciate you
man.
too. Good to hear you. Yes, sir.
Yes,
Allah
sir.
bless.
Thank you, bro.
Yes, sir.
Brother Patrick, I know I'm putting you on the spot, black man, but Brother Pat,
Well, Patrick ain't on no spot. He is the spot.
I know he ready for that. I know he ready, Brother John. That's what Brother John said. You come ready. So I thought I'd just go ahead and put that to the test. Take your mic off mute, brother. Yeah, yeah. We just thought we just throw you out there. The inspiration sent us to you. Yeah. I don't know. Let's see. That little red button, Brother Pat.
Microphone that got that slash on there.
Got that little slash on it. Mm-hmm. I wish it was where I could do it, but I don't know how. Well, he figuring that out. Nephew, where you at?
I'm right here. Y'all can hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. How you
Assalamu
doing, man?
alaikum. I'm doing
Walaikum
good.
salam, sir. Yes, sir.
So I'm spending some time with my family right now. It was Haseen's birthday today. One of my brothers.
Oh, Haseen, my
yeah.
nephew. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yep. So I was
Uncle
just
Mike
spending
said happy
some time.
birthday, blessed earthquake.
Mike said happy birthday, Haseen. Uncle Mike. He said, "What's up? Appreciate it." But no, yeah, I was on the phone listening. I was just spending some time with my family, but
okay.
I didn't get the full gist of everything. But I hear it's a lot about working and trying to do something and produce something. I just wanted to say I work with video, so when it comes down to video and recording and chopping up clips, putting clips together, and just creating content, like I've been doing that for about 4 or 5 years. So whenever we want to do, I'm there and I'll have my cameras, so that's just what I wanted to add in.
Okay, well, thank you,
So the
nephew.
document,
Thank you
for
so much.
sure.
I
Absolutely.
appreciate you weighing in. We just glad to hear your voice, and
yes, sir.
Praise be to Allah. Yes, indeed.
Sir.
All right, Brother Patrick, you still ain't figure that out, brother? I'm trying to. Let me see if I can unlock it. Well, I don't think I can. Okay. I see we have Brother Frank. I see we got some soldiers on here in the lineage of our dear brother John on the
Yes,
call.
sir.
We got Brother Paul in the building. It's good to see my brother Paul. What's going on, Brother Frank? How you doing, soldier?
Some like I'm doing pretty good, man. I'm enjoying
I see you,
this
Pat.
call.
We coming right to you. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
I'm really enjoying this call, and everybody just right on point. And I would have to agree. I agree with everyone, especially Brother Lewis when he said that. Hey, that was a good question. Can we sell 1,000 watermelons or whatever?
2,000.
We got to start somewhere.
Yes,
Then we
sir.
pull our resources and do something.
Yes.
Now we got it in motion. We come together. We agree on what we're going to do with the money and what we're going to do, and we just stick to it, and we just make it happen, and we make no excuses.
That's right.
And like you said, I was just reading something not too long ago, and I done wrote like about 3 or 4 pages of stuff tonight because just my head's been going everywhere. But I was just reading this thing that was saying the pillars of belief and the pillars of action. And this was by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And he said that there is an unseen force that's keeping these planets in order that secures the motion. The principles are called the pillars of our faith. He said, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. But with faith, you can bring out the existence of the unseen. There's a saying that if you can conceive it, you believe it, you can achieve it. So the first thing is to give the picture of what God came to make you. And if you want to get that picture now, the picture is a man like there is never was on the planet in this world's time. He's a God. He is the image and the likeness. He's the vicegerent of God. According to the Holy Quran, he stands in the place of God. That's a heavy duty man. So if you got that image, the next thing to do is for you to believe it. That's faith. It's the substance of things hoped for. Do you hope to achieve it? He says yes, 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 yes. But how strong is your hope? So, and how strong is your faith? Then, if your hope is there and your faith is there, then what you can conceive, you can and will achieve. So, we have the playbook. We just need to make things happen. Like Brother John said, hey, this is the time for it, and it must be done. So we just need
Absolutely.
Everybody needs to just, everybody plays a part. Like everybody said tonight, everybody got a skill set that they have something to bring to the table.
Absolutely.
Everybody
Absolutely.
plays a part. Like they say, hey, if you're not the starting five, you make sure the next five that come in, we're not going to lose a beat. They're going to be able to give the starters a rest until they get back in there.
Come on, brother. Come on.
But the thing is, though, we got to work incoherent with each other, and we just got to believe this thing, and we got to see it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And like I said, if we see it and we can imagine it, hey, and I'm all for it. I don't care if I have to drive to go get these melons, do whatever we have to do, go pluck them out, whatever else. That's a great idea.
It's a great idea.
And that's where we need to start at. Brother John and yourself, Mike, y'all did the watermelons last summer.
Yeah.
Them things went pretty quick.
Yes. Yeah.
So, people were asking and they couldn't realize how big them melons were. Right. Them things was, man, everybody like, wow.
Sweet.
So, like I said, man, hey, I know I'm looking forward to it because, hey, but yeah, that's all I have to say, man. I'm enjoying this and, hey, I'm on board. Like the brothers say, man, let's go get it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, excellent, Brother Frank. Thank you so much. And thank you for that beautiful energy and spirit that you brought it in, brother. Right on point. Thank you for those words.
You're welcome,
wonderful,
sir.
Wonderful. Praise be to Allah. I see you got it worked out, Brother Pat. Yes,
yes
sir.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, sir.
Get ready. Get ready. Hold on to your seat.
In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful, I bear witness there's no God but Allah, and Muhammad is his messenger, man. Yeah. And I bear witness, that you guys, man, it is a powerful unit. It sounds real good. I'm all with it. It's always about us getting together, choosing one product.
That's right.
Yeah.
If we can just find one product that we can concentrate on, and everybody push that one product.
That's right.
It's whether it be watermelons, fish, T-shirts. The messenger chose fish.
That's right.
And it always gonna require some preparation, practice and preparation. We're gonna talk a little bit, but we have to talk a little bit, and we have to practice. Because any football, any sport, you have to practice because game time coming.
That's right.
Game time coming. Yes.
So when all the people and all the lights come on, you can't be still trying to figure out what to do.
That's right.
Teach.
Right.
Yeah, it got to be automatic, second nature, man.
That's right. That's right, bro, Patrick.
That's right.
Come on.
Lights come on, you're trying to learn how to catch them, bro, Patrick.
Now I'm gonna tie this into the lessons now.
Come on, I know. I already know that. You ain't got to tell me.
Master Farad Muhammad came in 1910.
Mm-hmm.
Now that just happened to be the same square miles of the islands. 1,910,000 square
10,000
miles.
square miles. Yes, sir.
Which means when we start with whatever idea we start with, we're going to be like on an island.
That's right.
Oh, y'all ain't with me yet.
Oh,
I'm
come
I'm
on,
wait.
with you. I'm
Patrick.
with you,
Come
brother.
on, bro,
I'm with you.
Patrick.
Go
And
ahead.
then with this same product and this idea, we're going to have to travel 9,000 miles.
Come on with
Yes,
it.
sir. Yes,
Uh,
sir. Yes, sir.
then we're going to
Yes,
make
sir.
ourselves known.
Yes, sir.
Come on.
Yes,
Oh,
sir.
man.
Come on,
And,
man. You
and,
see,
now what you say when he came as Wallace Farad, he
Right.
came as a friend.
that's right.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes,
You
sir.
know, the definition of a friend is a person whom one knows and with whom, oh, my computer jumped off on me, whom one has a bond of mutual affection.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Come on with it, black man.
So even though you in a room full of brothers, out of them brothers, you gonna have some friends, because the friends is the like-minded people.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
Everybody don't have the same maturity on their Islam.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what I mean by that is when I run into a problem, do I know how to go into my Islam and solve the problem? Or is that where Iblis show up at?
Come on with
Come
it,
on.
bro.
You see, the devil that we have to kill ain't outside of me, it's inside of me.
Yes, sir.
Teach.
Sir.
That's right.
So, like the brother was saying, naturally, when we get together and start talking about moving a product, Iblis gonna show up.
Go on, show up. Come
Yes,
That's
on.
sir.
his job. He said, I'm a lie and wait on them and
Wait.
not straight pass.
Straight pass.
That's right.
Come on.
When we go in looking for that bastard.
Come
Yes, sir.
on.
He can
Come on,
pop
brother.
up. Ain't like he can pop up and surprise us. Hell,
Yes,
That's
I
sir.
right.
already knew you was laying there.
That's right.
Come
Waiting on
on.
me.
Come on.
Like the brother was saying, this is war, man. The minister told us business is war.
Warfare.
That's right.
Yes.
So we might as well get ready. I mean, if you really want to be successful in making some changes,
You
man,
got to go
listen,
to
man,
war.
I believe in the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. I'm a lifer. I'm FOI
Yes.
till the day I die.
I die. Yes, sir.
And what I know is when the God came, he didn't just come with knowledge, but he showed us an example of what to do with that knowledge. He
That's right.
raised 25,000 and went away.
Good.
The Honorable Elijah Muhammad then took over and gave us an example of what to do with that knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Come on
Come
with
A
it,
on.
bro, Patrick.
multi-million-dollar nation inside of a nation. So it wasn't just money, but you got to have some money. It ain't just money, but you got to have some money. That's just bottom line to that, man. You know, I don't know, man. In order for us to reclaim our position as the man of the house, we're gonna have to put
Come
in
on.
some work. Whatever that work might look like, it's hard to do it with a 9 to 5.
That's right. That's right.
Oh, it's hard to do it with a 9 to 5, man.
That's right.
You forever following the instructions. I'm gonna say this and be through, brother. It was a reason that God came and gave us our true identity and gave us their true identity. It's a reason that he gave us our nature and gave us their nature. It ain't so that we can bash white people this, white people that. No, it's so that you and I can know what this is we up against.
That's right.
It's just like all week long I've been studying the film on the opposite team because I know game time coming.
That's right.
He gave us a beautiful playbook. He had us their playbook.
That's right.
Everything they do gonna come out of this
Everything.
matrix. Kill the god doggone dog and save the lighter.
That's right.
And that's really the only way he can survive on the planet is to stop us from mixing.
That's
So,
right.
I thank you for letting me share a few words. And I'm like one of the
Thank
most
you, brother.
Christian preachers. I just stopped by to bring you a little good news.
Yes, sir.
I love it.
Alaikum salam. Thank you, brother.
And let
You brought
the church say amen.
Amen, brother. Preach. Brother Lewis, yeah. Yes, sir. That's right on point. Go ahead, Brother Lewis.
Witness ain't saying let the church say amen.
Yeah, I know that's right, brother. I know that's right, brother. I love that. I love that root, brother. I feel your spirit, brother, and I appreciate everything you said, brother, because we have to understand what the wisdom is about, and the wisdom has to mature in us. And when we can make it, and we don't have to make it relevant, it is relevant. We just gotta apply it properly and look through the lens of the wisdom because it's right there, you know. And I appreciate what you said. Iblis got to show up. See, that's maturity. When you make that point right there, that is called maturity. You know, we call it a denying force. You can call it it has to happen. You know, whenever you try to do something good, you have to have opposition. Remind me of what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, and I'm coming right to you, Brother Lewis. He said one time he was lecturing, he was given, and the tape was messing up. And he said, and then he went on, he was talking to him while they were trying to fix the tape. He said, whenever you're trying to do something good, he said something always will try to get in the way. See, what he's saying to us is not a complaint. He's teaching us the science of action. That whenever you move in any direction, there has to be a natural opposition that will come. And the Quran also verifies this over and again. Do you think that you're going to be left alone on saying that you believe and will not be tried? The trials and the difficulty are necessary to reprove us, to verify for us that we are standing on truth, that we're standing on principle, that we mean what we say, that our word is our bond. And after we stand up against the trial and withstand the difficulty, out of it comes the ease. Out of it comes success. Brother Lewis.
You know, God is not a spook. And this is one of the real conversations that we should have. Just imagine if we decided that we wanted to sell 10,000 fearless watermelons. And each brother dedicated to selling what he could in his city. Can you imagine if we had a product that was a good product that we could bring to our people consistently, the type of credibility? And then we had a beachhead that we could set up, something that we could build. That would be powerful, brothers.
Yes, sir.
And you know what's so interesting? It's doable.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, but maybe if we could get numbers so that we could talk maybe off the internet, Brother Jay, we should start, I believe, and this is not in stone, but it's just an opinion. We're getting everybody's contact information, Brother Mike. I'm sure you have it. Yeah. And then start seeing what talent do we think that we could bring to the table. See? We have to learn how to figure out how to put our talents together.
That's right.
And even though we're in different areas to an extent, but depending on what we want to do, we could travel and maybe come for 2 or 3 days with an agenda of pushing out a certain product. And I mentioned watermelons only because I grew food, growing food and things like that. And I kind of have a little beachhead already. But if we advertised what we were doing in different theaters, trust me, brothers, we could do it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't know what part of Texas Brother Frank is in, but we could go score us another beachhead. I'm talking like a real live beachhead where we have our stuff at and set it up. All you do is you repeat what you already did in one area. Like if you own a piece of, like, part of the problem with Muhammad's farms, Dr. Ridgely grows a lot of good products, but he don't exactly have a consistent area that he can come to drop the products. Most of the farmers don't want to be involved in retail. And we could start with watermelons, but we grow okra down here. And Brother John's mother's come and picked some of my okra before.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
You could tell she was a bona fide country girl too, because she didn't have no gloves on. And she was picking okra right there with me like it wasn't.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Right at home.
But you start doing that, you really start building a brotherhood because you're doing things and we become interdependent again. We're not dependent on, that's how it's so easy for us to walk away from each other, because we're not dependent on each other enough. We're too dependent on jobs. And that's why they disrespect us on jobs. I'm not telling anybody to quit their job, but we should always have something to where we're interdependent with our brothers, Brother Mike. So I'll just stop there. And it's no rush, but hurry up. But this is something we got to do.
Don't slow down. No rush, but hurry up, y'all. No rush, but we better hurry up. I'm with you, brother. I'm with you 100%. Brother Jay.
1000%.
Yeah. Mighty J.
My fault, man. My mic was still muted.
Oh,
yeah, all the good brothers hitting on good points tonight. Brother Pat, he definitely, Brother John threw the alley-oop. Brother Pat tapped it to Brother Lewis, and Brother Lewis slam dunked it. Teamwork, nonetheless, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
The saying is, friends that get paid together stay together. Right.
Powerful.
And,
that's powerful.
Like Brother Pat said, money ain't everything, but it's up there. Right. And because seriously, because at the end of the day, when you peel back the layers and you continue to call Brother Lewis when you get off work every evening at 5 p.m. on your drive home, saying how much you hate your company and your manager, and what's it really about at the end of the day? It's about money. It's about so you can have a piece of paper for a roof over your head, to invest in watermelons. It may be gas to drive out to Brother Lewis. That still require a form of money. Mm-hmm. Right. So with that being said, I just hearing all of this, 3 things came to mind. System, framework, and objective.
I love it.
And I just pulled up 3 quick definitions here. I'll start with objective. An objective is a specific measurable outcome that a system or process is designed to achieve within a defined constraints and time frame. Mm-hmm. Right? So when you talk about goal setting, you can't be so broad. I want to make more money. I want to make my first $500 by April 30th, maybe even by 5 p.m. You may got to get that specific. But you can't have something too broad, because it's like I've heard before, you can't just say, hey, I want to lose weight. You need something attached to that goal, like I want to lose weight so I can get in this wedding dress for my, son's wedding, or whatever the case may be.
Right.
So it need to be that specific, because willpower and goals isn't enough. Systems save you, what they say, systems save yourself time, energy, and money. That's what a system is. Saving yourself time, energy, and money. So you got to have a system set up and in place for days that you don't feel like doing the things you don't want to do, to achieve that objective, that goal, right? So by definition, a system is an organized set of interrelated components that interact within defined boundaries to achieve a collective function or purpose. And lastly, a framework. A framework is a structured set of guidelines, rules, and abstractions that provide a foundation for organizing, building, or analyzing systems. Now, with all that being said, that's important, but it's not at the same time, because sometimes we can distract ourselves with overwhelming information that sound good and sound knowledgeable, but we don't ever implement any of it. That's why I said power.
That's right.
Knowledge isn't really power. Knowledge is only potential power. It becomes
That's
power
right.
when you implement, right? So you just got to start hustling sometimes.
Yes.
But at the same time, it comes a certain point in time where you got to stop hustling and run an actual business. So many of us will leave a job to create a job for ourselves, which is fine. But oftentimes working harder isn't working smarter. So how long can you continue to drive 3 hours, 4 hours to deliver, the watermelons or what may have you? Number one, you got to protect your health. Health is wealth. We like to say that cliche saying, but it really is.
It's the truth.
But then too, you gotta build something to deploy an opportunity for the young brother. Let the young brother take that drive, that trip.
That's right, brother.
And
That's right.
that's how you build out an ecosystem.
Mm.
But you can never build out an ecosystem if you remain hustling and you got to do everything.
Right. That's right.
So I just want to leave those three, that 3-piece combo with everyone tonight. No matter,
Duly recorded.
if it's
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
yeah, if it's individually what you're doing or collectively with somebody on here or not on here.
That's right. That's right, brother. That's right on point. Right on point, brother Jay. Right on point. Absolutely. Any other brother want to weigh in right now? You cooking, brother John? You gonna say
Oh
something?
no, sir. I'm good, bro. I'm just
Yes, sir.
I'm sending everything out there. I am in agreement with everybody that's on here. I just want to see some ACTION. That's it.
Yes, sir. And that's what we're working on.
Let's get it.
Yeah.
Let's get it popping
Yes, sir.
and move.
Yes, sir.
And bro, I love brother Lewis' idea of let's get together and a couple of days, sit down, have that in-face think tank, figure out what we're gonna do, what we need to bring, and then let's get it going.
Absolutely.
Bro,
Throw your
Frank already
emails in
talking
that
about
chat.
driving. Look at him.
Yeah, he already ready to go. Throw your email in the chat, brothers, so we can have a way to reach you directly. And we do want to, we are going to implement that little study what we're talking about, and then we're going to be moving forward on everything, and come up with a determined idea. I appreciate what you said, brother Jay, about being, really being intentional, being specific, and not trying to overcast our net.
Yes, sir.
Get a target. Get a target. I think a couple of brothers said something similar too. But get a target and make that target an attainable target. I remember one minister told me years ago, he was saying, you just need to, I was a younger brother at that time, much younger, in my early 20s. He said, you just got to mature. You got to mature, brother. And I remember, I said, well, how do I mature? He said, set small goals and achieve them, and was some of the best advice that one could give you. Brother Jay, jump in there.
Yeah, one last thing I want to say, with having that objective and all of those outlines, the reason why it helps, right? Because this isn't a do as I say type of situation. It's really
right.
A need of understanding, right? Because that's why many of us, I like to think and believe, don't do business with one another. We don't really understand.
Right.
But that oftentimes come from a lack of self-confidence where we don't want to come across as, whatever, but that's another story.
That's right.
I know we all from, different walks of life, different age groups, but one of the biggest things tied to our culture is Rockefeller, right?
Mm-hmm.
And whenever I typically talk business with, my peer of the same ethnic group, one of the first questions I always ask, what's the end goal, man? because we all know what it looked like when things are going good. But how do we practice not just being proactive and not just being reactive, but proactive and preventative maintenance? So I don't fall out with Brother John, Brother Lewis, Brother Michael over a couple dollars. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So when I see Rockefeller, I always say and ask myself, I wonder if these guys ever had the discussion of what it looked like at the end goal. Do we sell? Do we hold on forever? If we invest in real estate next to Brother Lewis 50 acres and they put a Whole Foods across the street, do we sell? Do we hold?
Teach.
These are things that need to be discussed oftentimes because if you believe in yourself and your brother, because if I believe in myself and my brother, we just got to get started. The saying is, you don't have to be great to be started, but you got to start to be great.
Come on, bro.
Come on. So
exactly.
God willing, we could scale this thing up, whatever this thing is.
Yes, sir.
So when you talk about scaling, you got to know that the offers could come, right? Because I was once told they don't buy you out because you got some great product. They buy you out because you're the competition. I give you a couple dollars so I can eat off of this long term. So I just want to put that out there as well. Again, this is just general information. This doesn't apply to one thing. It's not one dimensional. This is essentially how you should run your life, I think. A framework for your life.
Yes. And it's right on point, Brother Jay. And I'm gonna tell you, I was just thinking that we have to pull these expertise into an environment. And this is what we're working on, brother. So I appreciate your patience, and we're getting there because we've been building up this theme right now. But as we get into a room, we need to pull this expertise. We need to pull the expertise of what Brother Jay, what you're saying, Brother Jay, because obviously you have expertise. Otherwise, you wouldn't be thinking on this frequency. And we need that expertise in a room. We need the expertise of Brother Lewis in the room. Some brothers just have more expertise in a certain area. If you have expertise, then we have to sit down with the brothers, brother Pat, who has expertise in a certain area. Sit down with the brothers. Some of us will be students, and some of us will be the teachers in the moment. But all of us will be the beneficiaries of the experiences that we come out of the situation with. So that's the most important thing that we can come up with at this point. I go back to what Brother Patrick said about what we already know is in the road, and you kind of alluded to it, brother. You mentioned it, Brother Jay. You gotta plan for every aspect. One of our brothers, wise brother, used to say to us all the time. He said you gotta go look at it. He said you gotta tear it down in your mind again, build it back up, do another iteration of it, do another iteration of it, and do another iteration. He's not talking about overthinking a thing, but learning how to look at every type tweak that you can get so you can perfect it. So you start it. Once you get it started, you get in motion, then you might have to take a step back. We're gonna have to look at it again. Okay, now we drove, it took us 15 minutes to turn this corner. If we'd have took this corner, it would have been 12 minutes. That would have cut, you know, 3 minutes off our time, which would have put us in a position to make this much more product or whatever. You don't think that that's important, but it becomes important when you talk about scale and just being able to understand every aspect of what makes anything work. I rode out on a truck one year, semi, never done that before, but I went around the country a little bit on a semi, and I got to understand something about how America works. I really got to understand that America is like a big body. You know what I'm saying? And these semi trucks are carrying vital materials to every center in America. If they stop moving, boy, oh boy, there's going to be a cardiac arrest in America. There's going to be a heart attack if the ship stops sailing in the sea. You got to understand how a body works. But once you start seeing the system of how things work, then if you get a greater appreciation. And some of us are just, like I'll be the first to tell you, I'm a student. Some things I know, some things I have to learn, But some of our brothers, as I put in the book, some stars are brighter than others. You know what I'm saying? And that's just the truth. But being of the mind, as you point out, Brother Jay, to look into the future is a super intelligent way to program ourselves. Not immediate gratification, but what does it look like when we sitting on top of a, this just what does it look like? I remember Mrs. Brill said we're going to be very wealthy people. The God has promised us wealth. But what does it look like when you sitting on a couple 100 million? You know what I'm saying? Well, how do your mind, have you even began to imagine what life would be like? And some of us haven't, maybe because we don't believe that we can achieve such an accomplishment. But in a collective way, we really can. And we can do it really overnight. And I know we kind of have shifted. We still on friendship in all walks of life, but we just kind of transitioning into how do you make your homes in the communities decent and safe places to live? This is a part of that implementation because you got to have resources. You got to have resources to build safe homes. You got to have resources to build, have security around those safe homes. You got to have good food security. We got all these food deserts going on. So, you got to think of everything. And that's how God's operate, and that's what, brothers, I appreciate about this conversation tonight, because there's so many moving parts. But as we come together, these are some of the things that we will build on, and what we're calling retreats, and our we must be first be brothers retreats. When we come together and we meet in spaces of which we planning something here in the very near future, we'll give everybody opportunity to weigh in on that process. But we're going to come together and try to plan a opportunity. I don't want to use the word try. We're going to plan an opportunity for us to come together and connect in a good location. Give brothers opportunity to be able to do it. Hopefully, we will be able to move around a little bit more, brother. As Brother John talk about these airlines and all the stuff that's going on, for brothers that may need to do that. But once we are able to do that, then we get in this closed room and we have a real agenda. We have a real agenda. Some of these things we're not trying to talk about over the public because, like we said, business is warfare, and you can't put all it out here for the enemy to come and steal it, because he's a master thief. Before you know it, he'll have a 10,000 watermelon drive, and we'll be like, where'd that come from? He has to steal the creativity from the black man to maintain his levels of success. He's been doing it for generations. So, brothers, if there's no more, we're very grateful, and we're grateful for building in this session tonight. It's been wonderful as usual, and I'm grateful for all of the input that all brothers have shared. It's also very important. Share what we're talking about. It's very important that we share, because, as I said, it's an act of war, and we got to push it out to our other brothers and sisters, whomever may listen, so that we can hopefully inspire their mind, and inspire actions, and inspire change in our community. It's all of our responsibilities, not one benevolent leader's responsibility. It's not one group's responsibility. It is the collective responsibility of all of us to make a change in our community. And we don't have to talk about what the enemy is doing forever. We can go out here and make a difference today, because we already know, Brother Patrick. We already know the program. We got the playbook. I thought that was like super wisdom, like somebody gave you the whole playbook. We got tomorrow's news today. We got all the information and the tools that we need. But what we have to do is activate. And this is what we are doing right now. And this is what we call we must first be brothers. We are activating. So I thank each of you. You are my brothers. I'm blessed to be your brother. I'm blessed to be a friend. I feel like as the more we come together, I'm building relationships here. I don't know if you sensing what I'm sensing, but I'm feeling closeness to brothers. We keep tapping in and we keep chopping it up, and we keep allowing each other to breathe out our energy and our thought and our creativity and how we think. And so I'm learning, and I'm gaining the benefit of what's in you. As Brother Lewis said about being interdependent, I'm getting something from you, and I appreciate that. And I appreciate your hard self-dedication and work that you do for yourself, brother, and that you're now sharing that light with all of us. So if I again thank you all, brothers. I think we can close out at this point. And thank you for tuning in. We'll be back, God willing, inshallah. You want to say something, Brother Lewis? Next Thursday. And Brother John, was there anything else you want to say too before we close out?
No, sir, bro. I think everyone came in and really gave heartfelt understanding of how they see the situation. And I learned some things tonight too. So That's what it's all about. Men, as steel sharpens steel, men sharpen men, or brothers sharpen brothers. So,
Facts.
and hopefully, prayerfully, I'll be a better friend tomorrow than I was today.
Likewise. Yes,
Likewise.
sir. Likewise. Yes, sir. All right. Well, peace to the gods. Peace to the brothers.
Peace to the
Much
brothers.
love. Salute to all of the brothers, man.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Salute.
sir.
Brothers.
Absolutely.
Salute.
Have a good night. Be careful.
Have a good night.
All right.
Be
Yes,
safe.
sir. Y'all do the